Hello everyone, and welcome to Live with OKclarity.com, the live experience that will bring you clarity on uprooting negative core beliefs. Tonight's live stream will be 15 minutes long. At around the 10-minute mark, I'll review and answer some of the Q&A that came in via Instagram. If you have any questions, you can drop them into the chat at any time, but I won't address any of them until the end. A quick and important disclaimer. Everything discussed tonight is for educational and entertainment purposes only, and none of it is a substitute for professional mental health, wellness, medical, or financial advice. So, hi again. My name is Gabrielle Eichler-Len. I'm a registered mental health counselor intern, and I specialize in working with adolescents and young adults through different kinds of anxieties, depression, and stage of life challenges, which is why tonight's conversation is so important to me. You can learn more about me on OKclarity.com. So, negative core beliefs are unfortunately something that everyone struggles with. They're a result of things we've come to believe about ourselves through lived experience or through what has been reinforced by a partner, friends, family, teachers, peers, etc. They're thoughts and ideas that we have about ourselves that fuel our deepest anxieties and insecurities. Every single person has core beliefs, both positive and negative. Every fundamental conception that you have about yourself is essentially a core belief. We also have core beliefs about others and about the world, and these can be positive or negative too, but for today we'll just focus on the negative thoughts about oneself. So some examples of negative core beliefs that people might have are things like, I don't deserve blank. That can be love, happiness, this job, my family, whatever that looks like for you. Or I'm not good enough, or I'm a bad person. And these can lead to distortions in our overall thinking, and these thoughts in of themselves are really distortions too. So Beck, considered to be the father of cognitive therapy and cognitive behavioral therapy, argued that by modifying unhelpful cognitions, such as our negative core beliefs, we can reduce overall emotional distress. He defined cognition in several layers. So the most basic being situation-specific automatic thoughts. Simply the automatic emotional reaction someone would have to a particular situation. He proposed that our underlying beliefs are what create these automatic thoughts. In times of stress, we're more vulnerable to listening to those negative core beliefs and therefore experiencing emotional distress. He thought of negative core beliefs about the self as falling into three categories. So the first being helplessness, the second being unlovability, and the third being worthlessness. By helplessness, he meant feelings of inadequacy, vulnerability, or inferiority. Unlovability, meaning fears of incapability to obtain intimacy, and by worthlessness, he meant feelings of insignificance or of being a burden to others. He believed that those with negative core beliefs about themselves are very nervous to avoid rejection in any affected area of their lives, causing anxiety. Obviously, if you're feeling insecure about something, you're extra sensitive to feeling rejected in that certain area. They tend to overestimate the threat and underestimate their abilities. This can also lead to feelings of depression or complications within one's personal life, work, relationships, etc. This topic is incredibly important because it's so relevant to every single one of us. As we go through life, we collect countless core beliefs. We form opinions of ourselves, what we're good at, what we aren't, what we deserve, what we can expect. Especially in the case of adolescents and young adults, these core beliefs are still pretty flexible, and so many of these core beliefs are still forming. For many, this is a time when romantic relationships, academic prowess, friendships, and independence become rising concerns. With knowledge of how negative core beliefs work and what is helpful versus unhelpful, it can really change the trajectory of one's confidence and one's belief in their ability to succeed in any given area. This topic is particularly important to me because when I attended therapy as a teenager, a good portion of the work that I did with my own personal therapist was to dismantle negative core beliefs. These core beliefs personally brought me to such dark places of anxiety and depression, feelings like I wasn't good enough, or, a lot of those core beliefs that I mentioned before. And it was even embarrassing to say the thoughts out loud at the time because of how severe they were and how distorted they were. Looking back, I can see how so many of these thoughts were able to be neutralized or made positive even through hard work and practice. I definitely know I'm the person I am today because of that work. So some of the ways I recommend uprooting negative core beliefs are, first of all, cognitive restructuring. So cognitive restructuring involves identifying and challenging those irrational or harmful thoughts. So teens and young adults, or even adults, can be taught to recognize negative core beliefs, evaluate the evidence that supports them, and replace them with more balanced, realistic thoughts. In session, a lot of what we do in cognitive restructuring is something that a lot of clients like to call putting a thought on trial. So looking at the thought and literally putting it on trial and seeing if, they can prove that the thought is accurate or if it feels like a distortion. Another thing that works for that is journaling or worksheets as a way to track negative thoughts and rewrite them, literally. Therapy techniques like CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, can be particularly effective here. Second, mindfulness and self-care practices. So mindfulness helps individuals become aware of their thoughts without judgment. This can look like guided mindfulness meditation or exercises that foster self-compassion, such as writing a compassionate letter to oneself or practicing self-soothing techniques. 3, and this one's actually a great one for teens, behavioral experiments. So this involves testing the validity of negative beliefs through real-life experiments. So for example, if a teen believes they're socially awkward, they could practice initiating conversations and reflect on the outcomes and how people actually, reacted to them or what they felt during that, learning that their belief may not hold as true as they think it is. And number 4, creating and maintaining a supportive environment. So surrounding oneself with positive influences and supportive people can help weaken negative core beliefs. And of course, it's important in any facet of mental health. Positive reinforcement from peers and mentors plays a crucial role in reshaping self-perceptions. If this isn't already present in your life, it can come from relevant support groups, extracurricular activities, or therapy sessions, or even your community, things like that. And number 5, positive affirmations. So regularly practicing positive affirmations can gradually shift core beliefs. Practicing visualization exercises as well can help you to imagine a life without these limiting beliefs, reinforcing a more positive self-image. So I hope that helped. That's my small talk on uprooting negative core beliefs. Let's see if there are any questions that I can address in the chat. Hello to the person that said hello. And yeah, I think we're good. If you have any questions, you can always feel free to follow up on the video once it's posted. I hope tonight's conversation provided some clarity on uprooting negative core beliefs and that you walk away with a plan to improve your anxiety or insecurities that may stem from these beliefs. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to spending time with all of you again very soon.